J'ai le plaisir de vous présenter Andrew Arruda. He is a lawyer first. He works in Toronto, in Lisbon, sometimes in Paris, also in French. He speaks some words in French, I know, but it's not here for this. He is a co-founder of Ross Intelligence. Ross Intelligence is the world's first artificially intelligent attorney. It's a robot. An attorney robot. We spoke about that this morning, and now we have the robot, the attorney robot is him. So you can speak about that. Thank you very much to be here, and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here for many reasons. One reason is I used to be a lawyer, and where I live now in Silicon Valley, I don't often get to wear a suit, so I'm very excited that I got to dust this one off. I'm also excited because a few years back, I lived in Paris for a few months, and I tried to learn French. And right now, for those with the audio, I am speaking perfect French, and that makes me very, very happy. So, as you heard, I am from Ross Intelligence. I'm a co-founder and the CEO. We are building artificially intelligent systems to enhance lawyers' capabilities. Today I want to talk, first and foremost, I want to talk very briefly about what artificial intelligence really even is. You hear it a lot in the news, we've heard it a bunch today, but I'd like to just spend a minute or two on clarifying that. I'd also like to chat a little bit about what we do, of course, at Ross, and then I want to talk about the implications of artificial intelligence for our future and what it means and the possibilities and doors it opens. So, first and foremost, artificial intelligence is an umbrella term. It's a term that's used to describe four main technologies. Don't worry, you will not be quizzed on this later. But the four technologies that it describes is machine learning, natural language processing, visual recognition, and speech recognition. So the term artificial intelligence itself is just teaching a machine how to do a task that was normally thought to be human. So it's a very broad term. Machine learning, which is very exciting and you've probably heard a lot about it, is the ability now that we have to have computer systems learn. Whereas before you would program a computer, you would have to tell it what to do. Now, machines are starting to learn through use, through working alongside humans to do things that they don't have to be programmed to do. Natural language processing is something you've also probably heard a lot about. And that's the ability for a computer system to be able to read through sentences, pages, passages of the way we communicate as humans and understand it. And the way that computer systems do that is by analyzing the words in a sentence, seeing the relation those words have on each other, and deciphering the intent, the meaning behind the words. And so instead of having computer systems reading graphs and rows, you can actually start to communicate on the same terms. We can communicate the way we communicate as humans. The last two very briefly, you've also probably seen visual recognition is the ability for machines to identify images. And so anyone here who's used Facebook, if you upload a photo now, you'll notice that it has the ability to actually tell you who's in that photograph and pre-tag it for you. That's visual recognition. And the last one is speech recognition. And that's the ability for computer systems to understand the way we communicate verbally out loud. So it'll translate our vocal tones into words and be able to understand us. Now, I wanted to start with that because when I was talking about that, you'll notice that I didn't mention the word robot. And the reason why I didn't is because artificial intelligence is software. You can combine it with robotics, but I think right now in the media, we have this kind of dynamic where we think of artificial intelligence as coming to take our jobs. So first, let me explain what Ross does at this time. We built Ross to be able to answer legal research questions. So whereas before when a client came into my office, and unless I had dealt with a similar case with the exact same fact pattern, I had to spend hours in the common law system, especially searching through case law, using databases, typing in keywords, getting thousands of results. And then after getting those thousands of results, reading through 30, 40 pages of a case, only to find out that that was totally useless. I didn't need to read that. Instead, with Ross, you can ask your fully formed legal research questions to it. You can ask specific to jurisdictions as well. And what Ross does isn't just bring you back links to cases, but the exact passages from cases that answer your question. After it does that, it'll ask you some questions sometimes. It interacts with you. It'll ask you, was this helpful to you? And through this interaction with the lawyer, our system gets smarter each and every single day. You'll notice I also didn't say in that entire situation about replacing a lawyer. The activity that Ross does is really enhance our abilities. Because as we all know, the biggest frustration I had was, like I mentioned, clients would come in, they'd tell me their legal issues, and I would tell them, well, that's probably going to take me 8 hours of research. I charge X amount an hour, and out the door they'd go. Boop. I was in a neighborhood law firm, 4 lawyers, so I was dealing with the front lines of people's legal needs. And so I got sick of it. I got sick of the fact that the tools we have at times are a barrier for individuals to be able to have access to justice. And so what are the implications of tools like Ross for our future? I think it enables us to do a lot more with less. It enables us to be able to take on more clients. So unfortunately, whereas you see in the news it's going to replace jobs, I actually think artificial intelligence will create more jobs. Because, as I mentioned, and you've seen statistics here today, the majority of people who need a lawyer can't afford one. But these are people who these people are not people with no money at all. These people just have lower budgets than can currently be served by the mechanism we have in place as our legal system. But using tools enabled by artificial intelligence, whether that's Ross, whether that's some examples, we saw a great example from Belgium as well today, these tools will be able to help us do our jobs more efficiently and start to address more of that legal market, which I think we not only should do, but we have a duty to do as well. And so in terms of the message I'd like to leave everyone with, first, artificial intelligence is nothing to fear. Artificial intelligence is a next evolutionary step we're taking with technology. And like you heard earlier today, if we don't take risks, we would be painting the basement or the floor of the Sistine Chapel. Let's, as a profession, paint the ceiling and embrace technology. Not embrace it blindly, but embrace it with an open mind. And so when people come to you with different tools for your bar association, for your organizations, for your law firms, don't just start using them. Come up with a system where you start comparing and contrasting the old way you do things with the new way implementing that system. And if it's adding benefit, then go with it. And so I'd like to thank everyone for your time here today. I think that artificial intelligence is a tool that allows us to do our jobs more efficiently, and to keep in line with that other example with Michelangelo, I think it would be a beautiful paintbrush that we'll have on our arsenal to do much more than we can currently. Thank you very much.